Thank you so much. Good afternoon, or is it still morning, to everybody, to our listeners, to our viewers at home, to the members of the media. I'm here with the faith-based organizations, with reverends here and the bishop and Bishop Malusi as well, and many other pastors that have joined us. Pastor Ian is here as well. Today it's a very different day to what we had yesterday. We started off with visiting those that have been injured in hospital, went to Helen Joseph Hospital to understand what the situation is there. We have about 6 of our residents that are still in hospital, 1 that is still critically injured. There's 1 that refused treatment because he was a foreign national. He actually ran away. We are concerned about that. We are still calling upon the foreign nationals that need attention, whether it's shelter or medical care, to come forth. We are not looking at documentation, we are looking at the humanity crisis. The crisis that we're facing, it's not only infrastructure. As you see us with the faith-based organization, the pastors, the bishop, the reverends from different faiths, we are here because this is a humanity thing. There are people that are broken, that have been traumatized, people that are confused, that are afraid, that really need spiritual care. The faith-based organization are not only coming here to provide prayers and counseling and spiritual care and standing with us, but they also want to get involved in how can we assist the city. How can they be part of assisting in this crisis, whether it's with supplies or necessities or whatever it is that people need at this time. We've been appealing for corporates that have come on board, that have brought food, that have brought toiletries, that have brought clothes, that have brought sanitary pads and many other supplies, household things that we need for our residents to at least have some normal kind of existence in the shelters and also where they are going to be placed in housing. I'm also here with the MEC of Health, MEC Makhubele, and we're going to conduct a prayer with all the faith-based organizations, but they also want a proper briefing on what has happened on site. How many other buildings are we going to be having in the city of Joburg going the same route? They ask difficult questions to say, about 4 weeks ago, we had a road that was best open at Bree Street. We went there with them to offer prayers and support, and they were assisting us with our residents. Here we are again today, a building has burned down. And the question is, what is next? What is the register of all the buildings that Johannesburg has? What are the conditions of those buildings? And those that are high risk, what are we doing about it now? Because they have really poked a lot of holes in some of our processes to say it's not prayer that is going to only save Joburg. It is the wisdom of those that are placed in authority to govern. It is the diligence of those that are placed in the government to really do their part. But they also understand that it's also the responsibility of citizens to be accountable, to be disciplined, to follow the law. It's also over and above the city, the broader government, national, in home affairs, how we deal with immigration, justice system, what happens when these people are caught. And it spreads across all of us to take accountability and really pull together. And that's why they're here to say we are part of the city of Johannesburg. We want to be part of the solution, and we want to also assist spiritually where we need to. But most importantly, they need answers. Post the prayers, we're going to be also be getting a brief from the EMS and other officials of the city, because they want to hear from them on what is it that they can do as faith-based organization to assist the city, and also on where is the city really in terms of the hijacked buildings, in terms of the state of the city affairs, the inner city, and that's really the purpose of what we're here to do today.
Well, Speaker, I just wanted to ask a question. Puleli Treaty Jones, ENCA, there's been a concern around the people who have asked to be taken to the countries of their origins. Are you aware about this? Will they be assisted?
Look, we are aware about that. A lot of people have come out to say instead of being penalized for being here illegally and now they are left desolate and destitute, they would like to be taken back. But those are processes that are beyond the city, and the relevant departments will be dealing with that and assisting us on how we process those kinds of deportation and how we transport them back, etc. You can understand the state in which they are in now. Some of them as late as 9 o'clock at night when we left the site. They were refusing to go to the shelter. And we appealed to them to say, you cannot sleep outside, we cannot feed you from outside, we need to clothe you, we need to make sure that, you are properly cared for. But there's always that fear of what is going to happen to me once they realize I'm Malawian or Tanzanian. The Tanzanian national person who ran away from hospital as well. It's this kind of things that I think we need to send a clear message to say we are not at a punitive stage. We are here to assist. The measures of law and all of that will kick in, obviously, at the later stage. But for now, it's important that we stabilize the people. We ensure that they are healthy, they are taken care of. We are human. We are Africans. We cannot throw them away in this time. And that is the message we want to get across.
If this is beyond the city, then what is the city thoroughly assisting with? When will the mayoral committee begin their work of also intensifying that some of these derelict and decaying buildings are actually dealt with as well?
Look, I think MEC here can answer on the mayoral committee when they are sitting. I know that there are agent maycoms that have been called to deal with it. And once they have sat and looked at the big broader picture, they will come and give their responses. MEC, I don't know if you have anything to add around the maycom sitting.
Thank you very much, Speaker. As you have alluded before, so we have been allocated with different MMCs to go and visit the victims, the survivors. I have myself been to Chris Hani Baragwana this morning, where we had 9 patients which were admitted at Baragwana. Two of them have been discharged. So we are looking into that. We are having council next week. Surely every time before this council, there will be mayoral committee that will be conducted. So mayoral committee will be conducted and we will be able to update as soon as after we've done that. Thank you.
Yeah. And in addition to that, you would know that yesterday we actually adjourned council. We did not sit so that we can deal with the crisis at hand, and we'll convene council again next week Tuesday. And I'm sure most of the decisions that the agent maycom is going to take, they will be then brought to the Tuesday council. That's where we'll process all of these reports and get a clearer understanding of what the city is going to do about many issues, the desolate, the illegal foreigners, the hijacked buildings, and all these things that we need to do. Look, it also looks at us from the legislature as well, the oversight that must be intensified to come and see what is happening in the city, in the buildings, so that we don't react to crisis, but we proactively manage these things, and we appeal once again to NGOs and all that are interested parties in the city's building. Allow us to do our job and let us save lives and prevent these situations instead of fighting us in the courts of law, and then we end up with such massive tragedies.